Hey guys, what's going on? So you may or may not know that I went on a major trip in the month of August from the 1st to the 15th. I went with a couple friends to Paris and England and Scotland, and it was absolutely incredible. It was my first trip that's just like for fun. Like usually the trips I've been on have been like missions trips or dance trips where we've had like a set itinerary that we kind of have to follow. And so this was really fun because it was just me and a couple friends that went just for fun, and we had our own plans. We could do kind of what we wanted and see what we wanted, and we saw a lot. We were like exhausted and ready to just like crash hard by the end of the trip, but it was like so worth it because we saw so many amazing things. Like those of you that live in those countries, man, like you live in some beautiful, amazing places. One thing that I really loved about my trip was the two girls that I went with are just as bookish as I am. They're like into reading. We talk about books all of the time. We like rant about books for hours together. And so it was awesome because when I wanted to go to a bookstore, they were completely and utterly good with that. So we ended up going to numerous bookstores, and it was pretty funny trying to, if you were like a fly on the wall watching us pack for the way home, we were trying to figure out what to do with all of these books. Like we couldn't put them in our check-in luggage because it would make our luggage overweight. So what we ended up doing was like having this one like big book bag as a carry-on that we put all of our books in, and we ended up just like trading it. And wow, that bag was a workout to carry around. I'll say that much. It was like I alone bought 11 books. Like it was insane. So yeah, I'm just like so pumped to show you guys the books that I bought in these countries. I think all of them you can buy in Canada. Like I wasn't really going there looking for things for books that you could only buy in like the UK. I bought some books that were like good because of the theme of the place that we were at, or I bought some books that were just like, they were on my list, and it's just cool knowing that I bought them in these countries. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just like pumped to show you guys. So let's get started. So our first stop was in Paris, France, and it was absolutely gorgeous. The bookstore we went to was called Shakespeare and Company, and it was like this really cute little like converted monastery, I believe they told us, and it totally looked like it. Like the shelves were all those like rickety old wooden shelves that like towered up so high that you like could barely see the top, much less reach it, and you had to like grab one of those ladders to swing around on. And it was beautiful. You like walk through and you can go upstairs, and there's like rooms where people are doing like live poetry readings and live book readings and playing like piano while you read your books. And it was just so magical. It was just such a magical experience. It was super claustrophobic though. Like there were a lot of people in there. We were trying to maneuver around each other. It was just like a rough go. It was really a rough go, but it was still like just like a super cute bookstore. And my goal for the trip was to buy at least one book in every country. There wasn't anything in this bookstore that really like screamed my name. I ended up picking Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. In all honesty, I sort of just like was wanting a book, but nothing was really screaming my name. So I'm like, I do want to read and own Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, so why not get this copy? Why not? Our next stop on the trip was London, England. We ended up choosing Foyles on Charing Cross, and what a good choice. This bookstore was 6 floors of books. And I don't know if that's a big deal for you guys, but that is like a big deal for me, being from like small city Saskatchewan, Canada. We don't have 6-story bookstores here. My mind was just like blown, and I was like overwhelmed and overheating, and I just like didn't know where to go or start or look, and we only had an hour to shop there by the time we got there, but it was the time like flew by. But I had to like really use a lot of self-control because there were a lot of books there that I really wanted, and I was like, no, I need to control myself. But I ended up buying 4 books, and I think that's pretty good. That is pretty good for me. The first book that I went for was The Princess Bride by William Goldman, and I really like this version, this cover. It's the 25th anniversary edition. I like love the black and white. It's just like so slick. I love it. Me and my boyfriend are actually reading The Princess Bride right now, and so that's why I picked out this book. I just thought it was like super cool that me and my boyfriend had plans to read it, and I got it in London, England. You guys might remember me telling you about this copy of The Hobbit that I got here in Regina. Ever since I picked this up, I've been looking for the copies of The Lord of the Rings that goes with it. It turns out that they were a special edition and that you can't buy them anymore. Like, they're not printing anymore. And so right now they're running for like $1,000 on Amazon and eBay and stuff. Like, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken about this. I wanted those books in my life so bad, but whatever, gotta brush it off and move on. So I started looking around for like other copies of The Lord of the Rings that I wanted to buy, and I couldn't really, like, I never really found anything in Regina here that really like screamed my name that I really liked. Like, all the covers were just kind of like meh. This was one series that I was specifically looking for in the UK to see if I could find anything, and I found these ones. And I actually do really like these covers. Like, they're not the Tree of Gondor covers, I'll tell you that much, but they're still like really cute and beautiful, and they're really simplistic and symbolic, and God knows I love symbolism and simplicity when it comes to covers. So I'm actually quite satisfied with these purchases, and I don't know, it's very possible that you can buy these covers in Canada, but I've just like never seen them at the bookstore that we have here. So it was a good pickup for me. One thing that we did that was like definitely one of the highlights of my trip was going to the Warner Brothers Harry Potter tour, like the studio tour. It was amazing. Like, it was just so crazy going and being there and walking through like the actual sets that they used in the film, and like all of the costumes there were legit. Like, the actors wore them. Like, Rupert Grint wore this costume. Like, what? It's mind-blowing. And seeing all of the props that were actually in the movie, and just so crazy. Once I got to the book section, I found this beautiful Hogwarts library edition of the 3 books, and like, look at that, look at the spines, they're absolutely gorgeous, and they look like this, like, they're beautiful and they're colorful. We have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Quidditch Through the Ages, and The Tales of Beedle the Bard. This is definitely an edition that I have not seen in Canada, like in the bookstore that I have here. The only editions of these books we have are like the crappy looking like kids ones or whatever. They're just like normal looking books, but they don't look like a finished set really, like this one does. This is absolutely gorgeous, and there was no way I was walking out of that store without it. So I'm super pumped about this purchase, and it makes it even better that I bought it at like on the Harry Potter tour. That's just like magical. This is one of the purchases that I'm most pumped about for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm just like super excited to dive into this book, to start chewing and gnawing at it. I bought the complete Sherlock Holmes. I bought this at 221B Baker Street, like the Sherlock Holmes Museum and the gift shop and stuff. Definitely wanted to get my hands on a copy of the complete Sherlock Holmes for a few months now. I've been wanting to read it. I've actually never had the pleasure. It's like mind-blowing thinking about it to me that I actually got this at the place where the whole like book, like the character is set here. He lives at the place that I got this at. It's just like so cool. So this book is absolutely so gorgeous. Like, it has like the gold leaf, and the back is just like gorgeous gold leafing on the pages. Yeah, I'm definitely super pumped. It came with like, the cloth bookmark. Gorgeous book, gorgeous edition. And our final stop was Scotland. We kind of went back and forth between Glasgow and Edinburgh, and it was like absolutely incredible. Scotland was definitely my favorite part of the trip for numerous reasons, and in hindsight I wish we could have spent more time there, but maybe I'll go back someday. You guys living in Scotland can expect me back because I love your country. I didn't actually have a book in mind that I wanted to buy, so I was kind of chatting with my boyfriend, and I was like, what book should I buy? And he's like, I don't know, buy like a black book. And I'm like, sweet, I'm all for scavenger hunts. I'm going to look for a black book. And the one I came up with was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I was happy because this book was black, but also because a lot of you guys have recommended it to me, like on different like posts and different videos. Like, I've seen this book come up numerous times, and so it has been on my to buy to read list, like somewhere on there. But so it like made me pumped that I found a black book that I'm actually like into. Like, I want to read this book. I've heard that it's really good, and so I know a few of you guys have already recommended it to me, and so like now I've got it, and I bought it in Scotland, and that just like makes it all the better. Okay, and my favorite purchase of the entire trip is a book that I found in Scotland, and my friend called me over. She's like, Kim, you have to see this, come here right now. And I was like, okay. And I came, and it was just like, Yes, yes. What I ended up getting was Peter Pan. And first of all, like, look at the cover. It is absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful. Like, it's the UK version, so it doesn't have a dust jacket. And it has like, I don't know if you could, yeah, you can totally see that. It has like that's a textured like Peter Pan outline. Like, this book on the surface is already incredible. And so you open up this book and there are like pages and pages of just like interactive elements, as it says, but they're just like so beautifully laid out. Like, you have like this medical notes thing here. Like, it's just absolutely amazing. This book is like, I'm like almost in tears about it. Like, this book is beautiful and I cannot wait to read it. Like, look how well, oh, like, look how gorgeous that is. And the, like, it's just, it's got, I love font layout. I love pages that are just like artistically laid out, and this book like has it all. And it's got like the interactive things, the interactive elements. Like, I'm just so pumped about this purchase, guys. Like, you have no idea. This is like so beautiful. I have it like displayed on my shelf for like the world to see, and I've actually never had the joy or pleasure of reading Peter Pan all the way through, so I'm definitely going to be picking this one up and reading it and just like enjoying like all the childish interactive elements, because that is amazing and it's gorgeous. And for sure, this was my favorite purchase of the entire trip, just because it's so lovely. So that is my Europe UK book haul, and I'm like super pumped about like all of my purchases on this trip. Like, I'm pumped about the trip, I'm pumped about my book purchases and all my little like bookish purchases. Like, we went to Scotland at a really good time because the Fringe Fest was on, so there were lots of like artsy stuff, musical stuff, and like lots of stands with like homemade jewelry. So I bought some like some bookish jewelry and like all sorts of things there. Like, it was really cool. We had a wonderful time. Let's like talk about these books, guys. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about them all. Give me a shout out on Twitter. I'll put all my information below for you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you're having a solid night. See you later.